Hello everybody, my name is Cal, short for Calisto, and today I just realized that my mic is not plugged in. I am a dumbo. ちょっと待ってください。Okay, so I didn't realize that my mic wasn't plugged in for a second because I'm a dumbass. Okay, so hello everybody, my name is Cal, short for Calisto. I'm not sure if you actually heard that, but you know that the bio. So yes, it is 6 years out of date. So anyways, we shall be playing Rumpel's route on Cinderella Phenomenon. Firstly, I want to address that I do not look my best today because I haven't been taking care of myself properly, so I should probably start doing that from today. I'll do that later after I'm done with the stream. Hopefully I will, if I'm not too. God, it smells. Hold on a second. This is the reason why I have a bandana nearby. Well, where is said bandana? Found it. It smells like weed, which is why I'm putting this on. I hope that doesn't distract too much, besides the fact that I won't be able to breathe, but you know, even without this on, I won't be able to breathe. I can't stand the smell of pot. So, I wear something to, you know, get rid of the smell. So, I guess while my mask is on, or while this bandana's on, I don't really need my mask. Hold on a second. I'll take my mask on and then put on my bandana. So, yay! Hello. Wait. Oh, yes, it is another stream. I guess I'll take this chance to put on my glasses. I should probably go get my dangly thing. Where did my sister put it? I have a ring that hangs on my glasses because I like to use it as a glasses charm. Oh, it's right here. Yay! We're so professional, everybody. Welcome to the stream. So, I'm gonna put on my bandana and hope that it does not come undone. If it does, well then, I guess I'll die. Well, I won't actually die, but you know what I mean, hopefully. I got this bandana at Disneyland when I was like 12. So, if you weren't here for this, I decided to put on my bandana because it smells like weed. So I'm just dying. My voice is gonna be a little muffled because, you know, that's what bandanas do. Ugh. This is gonna be so weird with putting on glasses and a bandana. Ah, man, I love the nasal. I'm from Washington, and I'm currently in New York, so I've adapted the New York accent. Wait, why isn't it playing the desktop audio? Is it? It doesn't say it is. Huh? Can you guys hear the audio? Yeah, it was pot. Okay. I got my bandana on. Hopefully it shows. Yay! Hello. Okay, I hope it's playing the audio because I'm not sure if it actually is, so... Hey, you have another part of my face, I guess. Just put the two together and then you have me. Dingly. I hope it's working fine. This is my first time streaming in like a week, so... Okay. Well, it's playing the audio for me, so... I'm not sure what's going on. Properties. Producer HB. Oh, now it's working. Okay, I just needed to heckin' put it to my mic. Alrighty, I have no idea what I said for you to say I will, so... Okay, so... I addressed this last time, but I finished Rodri, and now I have a beautiful picture, self-portrait of him. It's beautiful, I love him. Huh. He has the quiet tsundere type that I like. Okay. My game is doing a weird. Okay, so we're on Rumpel's route. We just finished at chapter 3 when we're finally on it. Yay! Okay. So let's begin. By the way, my nose is like squished, but I don't want to, you know, do stuff. I do not know why the first person that popped into my mind was Rumpel. Just because he puts a smile on ladies' faces, because flirting does not mean that he can help me do a good deed. And yet, here I am. I find Rumpel on break, surrounded by a few giggling ladies. His hands make dramatic, sweeping gestures as she showers them with compliments. And you, my sweet, are like sunshine. Are like sunshine peeking through the clouds on a dark day. You litter the ground with so much golden light and make every flower reach out towards your warmth. On second thought, maybe I should reconsider. Princess! Rumpel notices me, however, and immediately waves me over. Dang it. I'm covering my mouth. Hold on. My mask is falling. Okay, I can breathe now. Hey! You know what? I'll just suck it up and wear my mask. I should have, like, a bunny mask or something. As in, like, a face mask. That'd be nice. I'm just gonna heckin' deal with it. Because my nose is getting squished. And it's not at a good cost. So I'm just gonna pretend like nothing ever happened. Haha. Oops. By the way, I just said I do wear glasses. Yay! Okay. Maybe I should make this bigger so I can actually read it. I think it takes up too much though, so I'm gonna go back to right here. Wait. I can't see if it takes up too much. No, it does not. You just block the choices. Okay, so I'll move it down over here. In this little corner. Yay! Okay, we're good. This one. This corner. Okay, we're good. We are dandy. Fine and dandy. Wait, what does it say? Rumpel notices me, however, and immediately waves me over. Let's get to it. I'm gonna walk towards him, but I'm still gonna save. He's just going to insist if I come back. If there's one thing I've learned about Rumpel, it's that he's persistent. Why do you look so surprised? Oh, I'd assumed you would just walk away like you always do. But I can take this as a good sign, yes? You really did want to see me, Princess. The silent treatment only makes this all the more mysterious, Princess, and the mysterious is always exciting. I hate Rumpel, man. I've gotten to the point where I know what's going to happen, and I can only make assumptions, so I'm like, I hate you. I was really excited about Rumpel because I thought he was going to be like, oh, okay, we're going to be nice and dandy, and he's going to be a playboy like a lot of other characters, and he's going to be charming and sweet through the whole thing. No, I realized, no, that's not how dating sims work. I had ice cream before this. Now I only have the remnants of mint chocolatey syrup. What is he rambling on about now? Rumpel, why would you deal with someone like her? What? Lucette is like a budding flower, and I want to do my best to help her bloom in whatever way I can. You've come for my advice. You've come to me for advice, right? How did he know? The look of shock on your face is adorable, and so absolutely satisfying. It seems I hit the nail right on the head. I can't resist his charms. Rumpel, she's obviously too stubborn to admit that she needs your help. These women are infuriating. Oh, that's what that, okay. That's what that CG was for. Okay, I was misunderstanding this one. Rumpel leans a little closer to me and suddenly he's whispering in my ear. Those earrings put me off guard because they're like, they don't have lines around them. Let me tell you something, Princess. Making a person happy just to see them smile is definitely a good deed. Huh? Making someone feel important is never a disservice. What do you think? I'm pretty knowledgeable, aren't I? All he ever talks about is doting on people, flirting with them, and even making them smile. Rumpel continues talking, which is why I will make an excellent partner. I take a step back. Rumpel's now looking at me with a triumphant smile. How did you... I'm very perceptive, Princess. You have heard my conversation with Parfait? She told me about it. She did? Only briefly. So you're not perceptive at all. Princess, you cannot see it, but I am drowning in my own tears. Me too, Rumpel. That's just a mood. Why is HP support aid assistant? What? You just assumed I was going to be partners with him, which is really annoying. I do not even know why I was considering partnering up with Rumpel when he says the same things over and over again. And I do not think I could be around him day in and day out. No! Be his partner! Oh my, what do I spot here? Oh my, what do I spot here? That's better. Line. Delora appears before us, a sly smile on her face. Slacking off, you two? I'm on a break. That break ended about 5 minutes ago, Rumpel. And Princess, I think there's a broom that needs attending. Fine. There's no use complaining. I would rather get away from Rumpel. Rumpel turns to the ladies and smiles. My lovely ladies, we'll be back later, and I promise that we will continue our conversation without any interruptions. Oh, and Princess, we'll continue our conversation later as well. I woke off before Rumpel can try to shower more of his compliments onto me. Making a person happy just to see them smile. Can such a thing really be considered a good deed? The days in the tavern go by quickly over the next week. Princess? Princess? You've been staring off into space. I was just thinking. I finished using Mr. Broom, and now I'm helping Anise? What? Ah! Why is it doing this? And now I'm helping Anna sort some shelves in the back. Rumpel is taking up the serving for today. The women always enjoy him, but the men are always glaring at him.
They're jealous of Rumpel, I think.
Who?
The other men.
Ines looks over at the other men that are glaring at Rumpel as he drifts off between tables.
I'm worried about Rumpel, too.
What are you talking about?
You were looking at Rumpel with a funny expression on your face.
No, I wasn't. My words are clipped and my voice is cold. Ines looks at me very sadly, but I do not care. What I do is none of her business.
I think the girls are jealous of you, too.
What? I glance around at the tower and I notice that there are girls glowering at me. I'm not unaccustomed to these glares since people have always looked at me this way. During the times I left the palace, people gave me the same looks, but this was different somehow. Why would they be jealous?
Because you're Rumpel's partner.
I'm not his partner.
You're not? He's been telling everyone that you are.
I never agreed to being partners with him. I have felt your longing gaze upon my back, and I have arrived, my princess. Rumpel suddenly appears before the two of us, smiling brightly. Suddenly I have the strong urge to slap the smile right out of his face. We are not partners. But princess, you asked for my advice that I gave to you because I care. Because I care. No one else cares as much about you as much as I. And so I proclaimed us both partners because we are a match made in heaven. But I keep on feeling like there's someone outside of my door. You're so overwhelmed with gratitude that you're at a loss for words. If I could throw something at you, I would. A punch packed with as much strength as your love. I can only groan in response.
Oh my. Hello everyone, it looks like you're having fun.
How is this fun? Rumpel is never fun, all he does is spout nonsense.
He doesn't mean any harm, princess. He's just filled to the brim with so many compliments and he needs to get them off his chest.
Well, he can go direct them at one of his many other adoring fans. I forgot her voice because I was using... Oh my god. I was using this voice when her voice is this voice. Whoops. Well, he can go direct them at one of his many other adoring fans. I shift my gaze to the Rumpel and furrow my eyebrows at him. But you not only direct them at me because you enjoy how much I ignore you. I only wanted to help, princess. That's what partners do, right? But we're not partners. Just try this partnership out, princess. I promise it will be worth your while.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, princess. You can always change partners.
Lady Buffet, you've broken my heart.
You're very good at healing your broken heart by now, Rumpel. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt. I only needed to speak with Ines to make sure that she doesn't need any help with a particular list.
A list?
A list of herbs for me. Ines has been nice enough to gather herbs for me.
Lady Buffet, is this about your body? What's wrong with your body? What's wrong with your body?
Nothing to concern yourself with, princess. My body is just a little frail because of the burden of it.
That's right. Buffet mentioned having to bear the crystalline lucis. A thought occurs to me as I look at her more closely. Wait, couldn't you use magic to heal yourself? Buffet shakes her head and sighs.
I don't have the ability to heal. None of us do, except for the one particular witch who calls herself the Witch Doctor.
Witch Doctor? Witch Doctor?
Is there something wrong?
Rumpel shakes his head and gives her a wistful smile. The name just sounds familiar.
It's likely you heard about her from someone else before. Humans do know of her existence, after all.
A witch? She's not a fairy? For some reason, I thought fairies would be more likely to heal people, not witches.
She's indeed a witch, that is what they say. Though I have never met her myself. She's the only one who can heal illness with magic. She doesn't associate with other witches, though, and keeps to herself. Nobody has known where to find her for a very long time.
Suffice it to say, we can never seek help from her, even if we wanted to. Parfait shakes her head.
No, unfortunately not.
Rumpel looks grim, but Parfait quickly dissipates the gloomy atmosphere with a clap of her hands.
If Delora was here, she would say, "Alright, story time is over."
That was all very interesting.
interesting, but it really does not help anyone. Your body is the way that it is because of the Great War, then? Like I told you before, the Great War has made my body a lot weaker. This is something that cannot be healed, and I don't have an ear, so...
Parfait looks about ready to say something, but goes silent. She has a sad look on her face, and I don't understand why. Annis immediately speaks up.
I think I'll be okay, Lady Parfait. I was actually going to go on an errand run in a few minutes.
Do you need any help? I would be more than happy to escort a lovely lady like yourself around town. Annis pulls a list from a bag nearby and holds it out. There are only a few items on the list, as far as I can see.
Don't worry about it, Rumpel. It's not that much at all.
Rumpel stares at the list, his expression suddenly smooth into something more serious. May I have that? May I have that? Annis hands him the list and slowly takes a pen out from his pocket. Mysteriously, he looks over the list quietly and then scribbles some things down on the bottom. Afterward, he hands it over to Annis. I've added some things that might be helpful. The herbs on that list are for joint pains, and you might want something a little more general. I think that he's the witch doctor.
How does he know all that?
Everyone's staring at Rumpel with wide eyes. Even Parfait looks impressed.
You've used herbs before, Rumpel?
Maybe. I don't remember, but for some reason names came to the top of my head as I was looking at that list.
Thank you.
It's always my pleasure to help a lovely lady. Now, Annis, please let me accompany you to town. I would love to help with whatever I can, and more names might come to me.
That sounds nice. Thank you, Rumpel.
Rumpel turns to me, a mischievous smile on his face. Whenever he looks at me like that, I know he's going to suggest something ridiculous. Princess Lucette should accompany us for the experience. I do not need experience. How are you going to shower people with compliments if you know nothing about them? Being out in town will be good for you.
Rumpel has a point. The more you expand your world, the more willing you are to learn more about people.
I do not need to be lectured.
Oh, Princess, it wasn't meant to be a lecture. I'm just letting you know that experience is invaluable.
Come on, Princess, let us escort the lovely Annis around town. What about your work? Rumpel puts a finger to my lips and grins. No one seems to have thought of that, so it'll be a little secret. I slap his hand away, but he grins at me jovially. How did I get dragged into this?
Please, don't stay out too long.
We won't. I make my way into town with Rumpel and Annis. The majority of the conversations we have are one-sided, with Rumpel giving us both the usual compliments. He never seems to tire of it. Rumpel helps Annis pick certain nerves and squeeze me and a few other medications, and accepts all of the compliments and she gives him with a triumphant smile. I know Annis knows about herbs because she's helped me before, but how does Rumpel know so much about them? This must be part of the past he doesn't remember. Annis enters the store by herself at one point, leaving me alone with Rumpel. I'm a mysterious man, aren't I? I turn to him and notice the easy smile adorning his face. I'm a man with amnesia, full of secrets after all. I bet you're even more curious about me. Women always love the mysterious men. I can't deny that. I went after Yukia when I was playing Wizard's Heart first, because I'm like, ooh, eye patch, what's this? That was my whole reasoning as to why I went after I went after Yukia. And then I went to Randy. And then I went to Joel because he was the newest fruit back then. And then I went to Elias when I said that I was gonna make a comic for it. I even have the sketch. I even have the script in there. So let me get it out just to show you. I know, I'm so off topic. It says Wizard's Heart script. I'm not sure if it's backwards or anything. But it's just full of heckin' words. I did this stuff until my hand hurt. It's a lot, man. I dropped it at one point because I'm like, oh, the Dinkle is playing Gary's mod. I dropped it at one point because I'm like, you know what? Ah. Hello, I'm back. The name's Claudia. It's been a while. Well, to pick up where I left off, last time I was talking about the order of the guys. I've been thinking about how to set up volumes if they ever get established. If this ever gets published for some reason. I was thinking that I could split it up into 6 books per route, each book having 2 chapters and 1 book with a final/day, plus the spin-offs if I can. What the hell? I might make an extra book for the character spin-off, so in the last book, maybe some of the headcanons I have for that character's route. Well, we're out of time. See you later, boy. But that's where I left off. I have no idea. That was Elias's route, by the way. It might be pronounced Elias, but I've always pronounced it Elias. So, my eye is certainly itchy today. I have no reason why. No idea why. I do love my tsunderes, which is why I liked Rod's route.
I do not particularly care.
But Princess, if my curse is my amnesia, then shouldn't you care somehow? As partner, I thought he said parents, and I'm like, what? As partners, we're going to help each other out, right?
I do not see how I can help you with your amnesia.
Ah, maybe this is a spell that is only broken by a true love's kiss, shall we see?
He leans toward me with a playful smile on his face. I'm accustomed to this behavior by now, so this doesn't faze me, and I merely sigh at his nonsense. You already said yourself that you need to gather entries from some kind of journal.
Oh, Princess, you're no fun. A little kiss wouldn't hurt anyone.
I would die before I kiss you. You're gonna eat your words.
Princess, that's so sad.
He says that, but he's still smiling. Why is he so unfazed by everything I say to him?
I understand that. Like, I can never have an apologetic face, so I can only smile. What now? What?
You will only ever have terrible suggestions. It was a mistake to trust you might have good advice.
But I have great ideas.
You haven't helped with my curse at all.
I have been trying, though.
You haven't even told me how to get a good deed.
I told you before, Princess, compliments make a person happy, and making a person happy is a good deed.
So you flirting with women and using shallow comments on them is a good deed?
On the surface, the compliments may seem shallow, but if you swim a little deeper...
Complimenting people cannot be a good deed.
But making them happy is.
All you have to do is listen to people, sympathize with them, maybe get to know them, and you make them happy by doing small things for them. Women enjoy the compliments, Princess. Besides, how could I see such beauties and not compliment them? It would be a disservice.
You give compliments to people you don't even care about.
Princess. Rumpel's voice trails off as he stares past me. His smile falters for a few moments, and a look of confusion ripples his features. I turn to follow his gaze and see a small boy staring at us. He's shyly hiding from behind some kind of notebook.
That's that seriousness again. It's the same thing that happened when he added something to the list for parfait.
Then suddenly the expression changes from Rumpel into Rumpel's usual bright smile.
Hello there. Would you like to come and speak with us, young sir?
You don't remember me, sir?
Oh, do I know you?
I used to come to your clinic. You saved me before.
I knew it. He's the witch doctor. The boy draws closer to us, still hiding shyly behind his notebook.
Ah, I'm sorry, little sir, but I'm afraid that my memory is a bit scrambled right now. I can't even remember my own name.
Really? Where is Annis? Why is she taking so long? The last thing I want to hear is a conversation between Rumpel and some child. Is it going to shower this boy with compliments too?
It's a shame that I can't remember a boy as bright as yourself.
And there it is. I'm not that bright, sir. Not as bright as you, but I want to be.
He holds up his notebook, which has a small name scribbled in the corner. The words "My Dreams" are written on the front cover in cursive letters.
What's this?
I want to be just like you when I grow up, so I started a book of dreams just like my mom told me to. She said I could become a doctor too, so long as I tried my best.
A doctor?
You forgot that you were a doctor, sir?
But Rumpel, a doctor? The boy continues to hold out the book, and finally Rumpel takes it and flips it open to the front page.
Rumpel's holding the book close to his face so I cannot see it. I rise to the tip of my toes to attempt to look over his shoulder. At first, Rumpel doesn't notice me as I stare at the pages. Then, belatedly, he realizes I'm there and lowers the book so that I can read too. I leaned in so close our shoulders almost brush. Our shoulders brush. My eyes scan over the page quickly. The handwriting is crude, barely readable actually, but I can still make out the gist of it. Rumpel slowly reads the words aloud. When I'm older, I want to be exactly like the kind doctor that saved me when I had nowhere else to go. The boy's face flushes as Rumpel reads his words aloud before a curious gaze lands on me.
I don't remember you.
I look at the boy irritated.
Are you the doctor's wife?
Rumpel suddenly looks up, eyes wide. He looks down at the boy, then at me, and then his face suddenly solemn. I'm surprised by the words that leave his mouth next. Yes, she is. God damn it, Rumpel. Why? Why? He takes my hand in his, looks down at me, an almost sad look on his face. What is wrong with him? Don't slap him, but pull my hand away. He has such a strange look on his face. Slowly I try to pull my hand away, but Rumpel holds tightly to it. The sadness in his eyes becomes intense anxiety, and I see something that, like fear dancing in his eyes. That's called anxiety, man! You really think it was my fault? You really think it was my fault? What?
Sir?
Rumpel squeezes my hand a little too tightly. He looks at me desperately. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Let go! Let me go! I finally managed to pry my hand free. Rumpel looks at me for a few moments, almost bewildered, and then his eyes suddenly widen. He looks back at the journal, then at me. Oh, I think I blinked out. I'm sorry, Princess. All at once, the sheepish smile breaks into something cheerful again. He's still smiling at me, even though I was so good with him. Rumpel's so confusing. The boy looks bewildered. Don't worry about that, little sir. This one here is a feisty thing. I deserved whatever she just did.
So she's not your wife, sir?
Rumpel looks a little surprised, and then he laughs. Unfortunately, no, the beautiful lady here is not my wife. Rumpel absently rubs at the back of his neck as he looks up at the sky. I'm not entirely sure what just happened, but it seems like I've recovered something very important today. Or the beginnings of something very important. Something important? Is he talking about a memory? He hands the book back to the boy and leans down and sets a boy on the hand. A hand on the boy's head. A bell chimes behind us as soon as Annis comes out of the store carrying a bag full of what I assume are herbs and medicines. The boy once again cowers behind his book.
Oh, what's this?
The woodful little sir has helped me regain a very important memory.
An important memory?
Rumpel stands, looking triumphant. I, my good lady, am a doctor.
Oh, really?
Truly. Rumpel turns back to the boy, who he asks a few more questions. He even asks the boy his name. Much to my surprise, the boy shakes his head.
I'm sure you told me your name, but I don't remember it.
It's like my curse. No one remembers me being a princess, and no one remembers Rumpel's true name. What if his name is just Rumpelstiltskin? Rumpel thanks the boy again many times over, and even buys him a few pieces of candy. The boy's eyes are practically glowing with excitement, and he doesn't stop smiling. After we see him off and start to head back to the tavern, I begin to contemplate. I'm curious about something. Oh? You said that you needed to fill your journal with memories in order to get them back, but the journal you just read wasn't yours. It appears not. It seems that the 3 entries that trigger my memories just need to be written by people I know. Reading them triggers a memory, and then the full entry probably appears in my journal. I had to check it out when I get back. I see. Why don't you just have it with you all of the time, man?
But even without looking into the entry, a memory came to your mind?
Rumpel gives a short, distracted nod. It's not complete, so I'm hoping that something really has appeared in my journal. It feels like it must, considering I remembered something so important.
Do you remember anything else at all?
Dang, today I'm just burping. The young man that we had just met, I believe he used to come and watch me work before. I knew him. He used to look up to me. He was a sweet child. The memory's foggy, but yes, I believe something did happen to him. He became ill. The details I have of how I saved him must be in the journal. Even though he does not pertain to my curse, I'm curious what his journal might say. I can't remember fully, but the memory feels sad somehow. He turns to me, eyebrows knit together, and it's strange to see him with such a serious expression on his face. I'm really sorry about earlier, Princess. I think I was on the verge of my memory, but then I got tangled up in my head. I'm surprised by a sudden change in topic. I shake my head slowly. He's quiet for a few moments before suddenly his eyes come back and he laughs jovially, telling us that there's no point in worrying. At the outskirts, God, man. At the town's outskirts, I turn, feeling eyes on my back, but no one's there. Huh, odd. We give Parfait the medicines we purchased in town as soon as we arrive back at the Martian. Then Rumpel proudly announces that he is a doctor to anyone that will listen to him. Everyone seems happy for him, save the Martian patrons that find Rumpel annoying. Or mostly men. I feel like the pictures in the back are references to other games. Like, that looks like a poster to another game. That looks like a CG for another game. And then that's just that. Afterwards, Rumpel asks Anis if he might be able to take over the medications for Parfait, if only because Anis is busier than him. Rumpel hasn't been at the Martian long, and yet he has already found something to help break his curse. And then there's me. I do not think anyone will be able to help me. At the end of the night, when I finally have time to myself, I return to my room to rest. The next day, I'm sent right back to my chores. Rumpel is nowhere to be seen in the morning, and Anis says it's because he's tending to Parfait. He appears later in the afternoon, still full of smiles and silly flattery as he goes back to serving. How does he have so much energy? I don't know why I'm yawning so much, man. At the end of the day, I plop down onto the settee to rest. My legs feel weak from all the walking I have done today, and I can still feel the tiredness in my arms from all the sleeping with Mr. Broom. Princess? I noticed Anis standing beneath the doorway, smiling at me uncertainly. Thank you for your work today. Why is she thanking me for work I obviously did not want to do? It's not as if I asked for to do any of this. But you still help. Anis nervously shifts on her feet. I just wanted to say thanks. When I did not make any effort to continue speaking with her, Anis gives a nervous little nod before heading back towards the room. Not long after her departure, I hear an exuberant and familiar voice. I should count my lucky stars for giving me a rare opportunity to meet with my lovely princess this late at night. I should have gone up to my room. Rumpel stops before me, winking. The moonlight on your face makes your beautiful eyes sparkle like the most precious gold, princess. Ah! I'm not in the mood for your flattery. But princess, flattery is just a compilation of... a compilation. Oh, wow, okay. But princess, flattery is just a compilation of compliments. Everyone loves compliments. I do not care for your compliments. Well, Lady Anis's thanks either. You heard that? You should learn to let people spoil you. I stare at him. That is the last thing I had ever expected anyone to say. My whole life I have been called spoiled and rotten, the ice princess. Ah! Even Delore and Parfait want me to do these good deeds because they think I am incapable of goodness. I clench my fists and continue to stare at him, not understanding the swell of emotion inside of me. Why is he being so nice to me? Your first lesson is learning how to let people spoil you. He draws back his hand, reaches into his pocket, and presents to me a small yellow bag. What's this? For you, my sweet princess. Accept the heckin' gift, man! We're still in chapter 3? Whoa. I'm not used to receiving gifts out of the blue. What a shame! I would give you so many gifts. I would give you so many gifts if I could, princess. Why? Because people are moved by gifts when they come from the heart. I take the small bag from Rumpel's hands and look at it for a few moments. Besides, this is both a thank you and an apology gift. A thank you for accepting me as your partner, and an apology for my behavior yesterday. I don't remember what I did, but both you and the boy seemed frightened. I look down at the little bag. I open it up, and inside there's a little white chocolate piece fashioned into the shape of a flower. A lily. It's not much, but you must absolutely accept it, Princess. Otherwise my guilt would drown me in the dark shadows of sorrow for the rest of my life. Lilies are my favorite flower. They say you will give a white lily to someone you enjoy spending time with. Oh, and in floral language, they also stand for purity and majesty. He winks at me. Perfect to you, Princess. Why? Why what? Why would you give this to me? No matter what you say about doing nice things for people, I don't see how that applies to me. And why would you thank me for being your partner? I didn't even want to be your partner at first. What do you do now? I'm unable to withhold my surprise. Rumpel raises an eyebrow, then sighs. Princess, you don't trust compliments, do you? Mother always told me that people were two-sided, that they'd say anything to make you believe that they were your friend. Now, never fear, my sweet princess. I will make sure I compliment you until you learn to accept them. Okay, me too, except I insult my friends and then compliment them. Actually, I insult my friends, then apologize for insulting them, and then I compliment them. And then the cycle repeats. But, no buts. I derive my happiness from making ladies like yourself happy. The compliments may seem strange to you, but don't worry, you'll see in time. You'll see it in time. See what? The connections between people. You assume that I'm just a flirt, but I get to know an awful lot about people. It's the reason I can guess so much about you. What could Rumpel possibly know about me? So, what do you think? Are you more attracted to me now because of my mysterious aura, or my doctorly sophistication? You are not sophisticated in the slightest, man. He leans closer to me, his eyes sparkling, but I do have to say his outfit is pretty dashing. I can be your own personal doctor. I will slap you if you touch me again. Rumpel pulls back and raises both of his hands in surrender, but the smile does not leave his face. You really are hopeless, aren't you? Do you think so? I thought that the events from today might have proven otherwise. Oh, speaking of which, I read over my journal earlier. His expression becomes oddly solemn. Shall I enlighten you? Why would you tell me all of this? Oh, you're not interested. I thought you might be, since I was your partner. If I don't listen, you will still tell me regardless, so feel free to share. Rumpel sighs as he flips the journal open. Unfortunately, it wasn't much. The memory began coming together as I was reading, but a lot of it still doesn't make sense. I glanced down at the entry as he had stopped at. Look at the bottom of the page, Princess. I follow his gaze down to the bottom of the page and paused, noticing the conspicuous gap. There's no signature, and I always sign at the end of every entry I write. What if that might be the final piece of the puzzle? The final piece of your curse? If my name refuses to show up in the book, it may very well be the final memory I need to regain. You believe that the signature will be what gives you your true name, then? I have a feeling that might be the case. It was the first thing I noticed when the entry appeared. That would explain why the boy in town didn't know my name either. And there's something else. Something else that's missing? The journal entry is cryptic at best, vague, almost like an incomplete puzzle piece. I stare at him, not understanding. Slowly Rumpel begins to explain. It says here that the boy's family rushed him to my clinic. He had a terminal illness that I could not cure. He was at death's door and I couldn't save him. But he's still alive, isn't he? He even said that you saved him. Yes, and there's a resolution in the journal, but it's not very helpful. I glance down at the journal entry as Rumpel continues to speak. I refused to give up. I knew that there had to be a way to save the boy. I never gave up on my patients. In the journal entry, it describes someone who came to help him save the boy. He lifts the book and points to the words, reading them aloud. I met her for the first time tonight. She told me she had some way to help the boy, so we struck a deal. I hope I do not come to regret this. He snaps the journal shut, startling me. He sighs and runs a hand through his hair. That's it. Someone helped me somehow, but I made a deal. I'm assuming this is related to my curse, but I can't say how. Why did you write so vaguely? I wish I could ask my past self that same question. So in the end, you're still not sure when you were cursed. Rumpel pauses, then shakes his head. I believe it started here. Not the curse, but the events that led to it. There's also this. There's a reason this is the first memory to be triggered. It's important. For a few moments, the two of us are quiet. Rumpel's curse is a mystery, not because he's hiding it like Karma is, but because he doesn't understand it himself. After a few moments, Rumpel begins to laugh, breaking the silence. I look at him startled. What's so funny? Oh, it's not funny, it's just... This is all very mysterious, isn't it? And my mysterious past makes me more alluring, doesn't it? Only Rumpel could take such a serious moment and change it into this. I do it too, man. Like, I could be in, like, the middle of, like, oh, someone died. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry about this. Shit, I spilled my fucking coffee all over the place. Whoops. I changed the set. Oh, God, I've done that before. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for the person I referenced. Well, what do you think, Princess? Are you drawn into the mystery of it? I have no choice. You'd tell me even if I didn't want to. Oh, but you do. I can see curiosity in your loving golden eyes. And I can see it earlier today, too. Thank you for accompanying me to town. I believe that I only met the boy because you were there to guide me away. We were looking for medical supplies. The boy appeared through mere coincidence. No, it was more than coincidence. It was destiny. Fine, whatever you say. Listening to him is exhausting. It makes me realize how tired I am. And all of these revelations are making my head spin. I'm going to bed now. I'm too tired for this. You and I both was that. It has indeed been a busy day. We will continue this enlightening discussion some other time. I'm changing something, the position of something. Perhaps. I turn to walk away with a little chocolate in my hands. As I walk back towards the darkness of the hallway, Rumpel's soft voice echoes behind me. Sweet dreams, my princess. Ominous. Chapter 4. A compliment value. Oh, a compliment's value.
You waited, but the children didn't come, did they? They promised they'd be back today. We even crossed pinkies.
Promises are futile, dearest heart.
But
I've told you before that I'll tell you again. People are selfish creatures. You should probably banish them. They will always put their own well-being before others. No one does anything selflessly. To put your trust in someone is weakness, Lisette. Even those that make promises will only keep them if it benefits them. And you, my sweet, were obviously not beneficial to those children.
So they didn't like playing with me?
No, they did not.
Come here, darling. You do not need those other children. The two of us can play together as we always do. I can always trust you, Mother?
Of course, my love. My head feels foggy. Maybe it's because it took me forever to fall asleep yesterday. And then to make things worse, I end up having that dream. Mother, you were the only one I could trust, right? I slowly slide out of my bed and make my way over to the dresser. The little bag is still where I left it last night. I open it up and let the little white chocolate lily, oh, it's white chocolate, fall into my hand. Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. Is he really trying to help me? I remember his face yesterday and his bright smile as he presented this to me. I slowly run my fingers across the delicate white petals. You couldn't have known lilies were my favorite flower. There's no reason to be sentimental about something like this, it's just silly. I'm about to put the flower back in the bag, but I stop, eyeing it once more. Slowly I bring it to my lips and bite off a small petal. It's actually pretty good. I stuff the little flower back into the bag and make my way downstairs. Martian? I'm gonna say Martian.
The Martian is not busy this early in the morning, but everyone is starting on their chores. At least I assume as much when I see Annis and then Walt, who is helping her stack things. Then I hear rising voices and realize that not all is calm.
At least I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not.
You say you're not pretending when you go around flirting with all of the female patrons day in and day out. You cannot seriously mean all of this drivel you spout.
Karma and Rumpel stand on opposite sides of a table, staring each other down. A teacup filled with looks to be cool tea sits close to Karma, abandoned.
Flirting with a lady is not a crime.
One day your flirting is going to get you into even more trouble than it already has.
I've never had a lady say I mistreated her, not once.
Oh, I'm sure many could attest to being more than slightly annoyed.
You're only jealous that I can speak to ladies without a disguise, aren't you?
Karma slams his hand down on the table, shaking it. The tavern grows quiet. Waltz looks over, his eyes furrowed with worry.
If you so much make as one more comment about my curse,
then stop making comments about how I speak.
The two continue to glare at each other. It almost looks as if Karma might circle the table and slap him, but the fight freezes as Jurian strides up to the two men.
It's too early for the two of you to be already at each other's throats.
But he started it.
All I did was make a comment. He was the one that picked a fight.
Here you go again, twisting words.
Jurian stomps on the ground. The two men once again turn to look at her.
It's my job to break up unnecessary fights, and I will do it.
If the two of you must continue fighting, then go do it somewhere else, like the forest, where you can't disturb anyone. Both men turn away from each other, obviously agitated. Rumpel's expression is cloudy as he makes his way over to the bar to begin setting the tables. Jurian notices me watching. She waves at me with a terse smile on her face.
Sorry you had to wake up to that, Princess.
I shrug as I make my way over to Mr. Broom. It's like waking up to two children arguing.
Agreed wholeheartedly.
Jurian sighs before looking at me thoughtfully. Maybe you could have a word with Rumpel later. I have no idea how their argument even started, but maybe you could get to the bottom of it.
No. Guys, now upstairs.
Oh.
Maybe we can.
I didn't even realize the person was there. I just realized my webcam has been on this whole time. Whoops. I will save my baby.
Don't go get baby. Baby.
Wow. I'm very clueless. I didn't even realize that my webcam was off. I didn't even mean for that. I think I'll just keep it off. Like, what's the point of wearing it right now if it's been off for like a half an hour, probably? Also, that mask, like, suffocates my eyes, so...
Yes, baby?
Oh, they're eating each other. Alrighty. Okay, it's still off. I thought I was about to be petrified, man. What the hecky? It's not even at the right speed. I'm not a babysitter. But I'd hear the two of you were partners. Anyway, hopefully this doesn't happen again. Good luck with your work today, Princess. Jurian washed off, vigilant as always. I noticed Garland looking at her from the bar, a slight frown on his face. I start working towards the tavern, starting first with the cleaning and then with the stacking. Delora makes snide remarks about my slowness as I work, and I try my best to ignore her whilst occasionally throwing her insults back at her. It's as if she has nothing better to do. The door to the tavern opens and Parfait steps inside. I have the southern the southern accent now. Steps in with a bright smile. She looks more energetic than usual. You know what? I don't care because I think it's better than my New Yorker accent. I wonder if this is because of Rumpel's medicine suggestions. Later, I managed to catch Rumpel with the two of us are both on break. He looks pleased to me until I mention Karma. Why were the two of you fighting earlier? What a sad day it is that the princess talks about another man to my face. Just answer me. I was getting ready for the events of today, as always, speaking to the lovely women who filter in and out of this place, when the beast appeared behind me. Even his insults are dramatic. Your flirting is distracting me, he proclaimed. Well, your flirting is annoying. But all I'm doing is complimenting women. I'm not impeding anyone's work. I thought the reason he was calling out to me on such a thing was because he was actually jealous. You should have seen his scowl. And here we go again. So I politely told him to mind his business, but he was relentless, and when he continued to insult my demeanor, well, I had to say something back. But I wasn't the one to start the fight. I swear they both really do sound like children. No doubt Karma would be blaming Rumpel. Princess, you don't really am so confrontational, do you? I think Karma is far more confrontational than Rumpel, but it does not help that Rumpel always snaps back at him. The two of you are both at fault. But Princess, in the end, it was still having a childish argument. I'd realized I was not doing her voice right. I was doing Skeletiono's voice again, which is also known as Karma's. I think that Rumpel might try to protest again, and I'm surprised when he shrugs his shoulders and sighs. Yes, it was childish, because that man is a child. I rolled my eyes. Ah, Eureka's scowl chills my heart, Princess. I feel a tinge of excitement. I am leaving now. There's really no point in having this conversation. It's a problem between Karma and Rumpel. They aren't children, they can figure this out on their own. Oh, Princess of my heart, why must you depart so early? I ignore Rumpel and leave him standing where he is. As I return to my ship a little early. Honestly, I would much rather focus on work than Rumpel. He can be just as tiring, if not more. Although after what happened last night, I don't think it's as terrible as I thought. The days go on, and Rumpel and I speak only briefly during our breaks. Every day I eat another piece of the lily until only one is remaining. One afternoon, just before my break, Rumpel approaches me with a mischievous smile on his face. My lovely princess, how are you today? What do you want? Your cold shoulder is enticing. I have one more table to serve. Do not bother me. But princess, I've decided to know exactly how to teach you to be good. All of your other lessons have been useless so far. Please, just trust me. Don't by trusting someone is weakness. I'm going to teach you how to flirt. What? The first step to flirting is eye contact, princess. Wait, but why are you... Rumpel points at my customer, a young man sitting right beside the window. The second is to smile. Smile, princess, because I'm sure you look even more stunning when you do. Then you start a conversation with them. Body language is important. There are certain signals that key men into the fact that a woman is interested in them. I think playing with your hair is one, a gentle tap on the shoulder is another. I should have expected Rumpel to spout the sort of nonsense.
Princess, the customer's been waiting for a while now. Is something wrong?
I notice the customer looking at me expectantly. He's just some man, a usual customer that I actually see often. Oh, and princess, don't forget the compliments. Make them as delicate and illustrative as you can. I move away from Rumpel before I can muddle my thoughts any further. Already my feet feel like lead. I find myself staring at the man far too long. The way he stares back at me, his expression is so unreadable, suddenly makes me feel more uncomfortable. Do I really have to do what Rumpel says? I step in front of the man and set down his tray, my eyes still on his. I don't have to follow Rumpel's advice, but for some reason my lips quirk. The smile on my lips, though, lasts only all of a half second. Are you okay? No. Should I? Why not? I can feel Rumpel smiling at my back. If this were anyone else but him, I would think it was some sort of prank. But considering this is the way Rumpel acts all the time, maybe he's really trying to help me. I tried to recall how he flirted with his customers. I could not help but notice you were alone, sir. I'm always alone.
I heard something far too loudly in my chest. What kind of things does Rumpel usually say? Madam, you were the most beautiful thief I have ever met, for it is you who has stolen my heart and stolen my gaze. I love Rumpel. Your eyes are more captivating than the stars, my sweet. If I could, I would stare into them forever and lose myself in their majesty. You remind me of a rose with thorns, but the thorns are what makes the rose so alluring. Only does this spout complimentary gibberish, I will try to do the same. How is it to always be alone when you have such lovely eyes? The customer stares at me baffled. I force myself to continue. Your eyes remind me of the leaves in fall as they flutter beneath the bright gaze of the sun. I stop. The words nothing more than a shallow lie make me feel strangely hollow. The man is just staring at me, but he looks more uncomfortable. Still, I do not think he's anywhere near as uncomfortable as I am. But, ma'am? Perhaps you would... My voice trails off. I bite my lips so hard that I can taste something metallic. she just bit so hard that that blood came out of her mouth. The man's expression is a mixture of awe and perplexity. I immediately turn away from him and walk off. My whole face is hot and I can feel my anger boiling deep inside me. Oh, princess, leave me alone. Princess, we're not I do not care. I ignore everyone's gaze as I move as quickly as I possibly can up the stairs into my room. There I collapse on my bed and lay there with my That was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. There I collapse on my bed and lay there with my arms outstretched. Why would I have ever even thought of taking Rumpel's advice? Hours go by and eventually I realize that it's time to help Annis with the night chores. Now I'm helping her restock some of the bottles that Waltz and Karma had brought back from town. I hope Annis doesn't mention what happened earlier today. I slip out of bed and head down to the main area of the tavern. The room is mostly quiet by the time I go downstairs. Parfait and Delora are talking to each other at a table. Karma passes me by as I walk downstairs. He looks exhausted and oddly frustrated. I make my way over to Annis, who's already putting bottles on the shelves. Oh, Princess, are you okay now? I'm fine. Now what did you need me to do? Annis explains how restocking works. She shows me the labels on the shelves and explains that the empty spots are where the new bottles go. Oh, whoops. It's not a hard job, and one I can easily do without thinking too hard. For a while, the only sounds that can be heard in the margin are the bottles clinking against each other. Underneath it is the murmuring between Parfait and Delora. I have no idea what they're talking about, but they look serious, so it must be something important. So, Princess, can I ask what life was like at the palace? Right, she cannot remember working at the palace before. I don't mean to pry, I was just trying to make conversation. I would rather not. Oh, okay. Eventually, Parfait and Delora stand from their seats and move to another room to continue their conversation. Annis breaks the silence again. The tavern in Sneezeman is quiet like this, isn't it? You can hear the sounds outside if you open the window. My hands move swiftly, placing bottles on shelves so I label. All I want to do is get the work done and then return to my room. It was like that when the old place that I used to work. I was hired by a rich family to be their maid. Their mansion was a beautiful place. You could hear the crickets if you were by the windows on the bottom floor. Seems like a memory has been twisted by my curse. She cannot remember working at the palace. All she remembers is working for a rich family. It was a nice place, Princess. There was a girl close to my age that had a radiant smile. Radiant smile. She must be talking about Emmeline. The head of the mansion is a really kind man, and... She suddenly grows quiet, a look of confusion coming to her face. She pauses and shakes her head. I can't seem to remember everyone that was there, but I'm pretty sure they were all good people. At least, I'd like to think so. I was just a bad maid. She was, because of her, Delora's dress was torn. I was too ashamed to tell one of the mistresses that I couldn't save her doll. Save her doll? Annis looks down, her smile wistful. I was fired on my first day because I couldn't save one of the mistress's dolls. I was the one cleaning her shelf that day, and when I went, I saw a crow that came in through the open window that was pecking at one of the dolls. I
I shooed it away, but it was too late. The doll had a little rip in its dress, and I was fired for not doing my job properly.
So it wasn't Annis who ripped Dolores' dress, but a bird.
Is this why Dolores insisted Annis deserves an apology?
What happened after you were fired?
Lady Parfait found me on the streets. I couldn't go back to my aunt's house, not after what had happened. She never liked me anyway.
Annis's face clouds briefly with sorrow, but the expression is short-lived.
I can never forget the day I met Lady Parfait. I told her I would be able to help her and anyone else that got sick. That I could even do all the cooking since I've been making meals for my father since I was a young girl. I begged her to take me in, and she did. I owe Lady Parfait a lot.
Why didn't you go back to your father after you were fired?
My father passed away a while ago. My mother died giving birth to me. My father was an herbalist, and he taught me a lot while he was still with me. So, before Rumpel came in, I helped Lady Parfait with herbal remedies.
So you have no one?
That's what I thought, but now I have everyone else. But now I have everyone here. The Martian is my family now.
Family.
Princess, we're all happy to have you here too. You really help out around the Martian, and I can tell Rumpel's happy to have you just as a partner.
The memory of what happened today slowly seeps back into my mind. I cannot help but the irritation bubbling up inside of me.
I know he's a little overwhelming, but I'm pretty sure Rumpel's really trying to help you. Just like he's helping Lady Parfait.
He's not the same thing at all. The two of us continue working until Annis makes another wistful comment.
The place I worked before is this. I felt like there was a warmth in that gigantic home, but it was stifled.
That place isn't warm at all. I speak the words without even meaning to. Annis looks up at me curiously. The king suddenly started speaking to me when Mother died, but it was never enough. Before that he was cold and distant, and even now he favors his new wife and children over me. There were people, but they all wore fake smiles, and my father, he was the worst of all. I may have well never existed to them.
Princess, I'm sorry.
For what?
You were talking about the palace, right? The king always seems so nice.
He put his kingdom before his children. Annis fidgets nervously.
I'm sorry.
Apologies are not going to change the past.
Sometimes apologizing seems like all we can do when we can't change something that's already happened.
I think about Annis, who tried to save my doll in the way I fired her that day. Rumpel told me once that all I had to do was listen to people and sympathize with them. Could that also be true for finding out the truth? All I can do is make up for what I did to her. Apologize to her. I'm sorry. Annis looks at me, clearly shocked. She stares at me for a few moments before I scowl at her. Staring is rude.
I was just... Why are you apologizing to me, Princess?
This was something that I did that she wouldn't remember.
That I wouldn't remember? You should tell me. I promise I won't hold it against you.
It's not important. Annis's eyes are suddenly downcast, and no matter the attempt, her smile isn't as bright as it once was. Oh, that's a cat in my door. I quickly finished stacking the bottles on the shelves. I'm done. Annis turns to me with an unusually tired expression on her face.
Thank you for listening to me, Princess, and for telling me a little bit about yourself, too.
I feel like I might have said too much. I don't respond to Annis, but instead choose to head out the front door. Annis asks me where I'm going, but I just ignore her. I think about heading to town, but then I reconsider. I decide to head for the forest instead. I make my way to the forest clearing. In the dark, everything feels a lot more comfortable. Here, I do not have to pretend to listen to anyone, and I don't have to talk about myself. Ah, man, that quality is great, man. Woo. There is plenty of video. What are you talking about? You know what? I'm just gonna die. I settle down on a rock and stare up at the sky. I apologize, but Annis didn't even understand my apology. And even now, I still cannot bring myself to trust those at the Martian. I sigh and find myself speaking aloud. Maybe I am the Ice Princess. Ah, but you have seen the beautiful sculptures that can be made from ice, Princess? I turned to see Rumpel walking towards me, a broad grin on his face. eyes always sparkles in the sun. It glistens and stands so proudly when it's been sculpted. I stare at Rumpel blankly. Blanky. I stare at Rumpel blanky. He has a blankie. That's what is around his neck. It's a blankie. Not a scarf, but a blankie. I stare at Rumpel blankly. He sighs and shakes his head. I'm sorry, but that one was particularly bad, wasn't it? He sits down beside me and his grin falters a bit. That chin can kill anybody. Like, any of the guys' chins can kill a person. This is like Gaku and handsome bad. Okay, maybe not, but the sharpness is Gaku and handsome. He could, like, petition to be in it. I have no white lilies to give you this time, my sweet princess, but I will offer anything else you would need for me to apologize for my advice earlier today. I can offer anything, my words, my body. I cut Rumpel off as I'm not in the mood for his usual behavior. You're always like this. All you ever do is flirt. Any meaningful thing you try to say is lost in the flattery you constantly give to people. It's shallow. You're right. What? I stare at him. Rumpel's still smiling, but it's not the same confident grin he wore earlier. Somewhere deep in my memories, I remember someone telling me off just like this. Many people enjoy flattery, princess, and a lot of people are receptive to flirting. But nothing can measure up to a genuine compliment. But I stand by what I said before, and making a person happy is a good deed. Look, I'll show you. Rumpel shifts so that he's looking right at me, and I notice that his smile is gone. Lucette, of all the women I met, you are the most straightforward and honest. Many do not have the courage or confidence to exhibit those qualities. That's why I admire you, and why I will always take your words to heart, because I know that you will always speak the truth. I look into Rumpel's eyes, which give a gentle shimmer despite the darkness. For a few moments his words float around my head. No one has ever called my bluntness honesty before, no one has ever complimented me for it. Rumpel told me that I deserve to be spoiled. Maybe it's because he sees the things I do in a more positive light? My, you're struck speechless by that, aren't you? You look cute with your cheeks so rosy, my sweet princess. You lost it. I glare at him and Rumpel just laughs in response. I put a hand to my cheek, suddenly self-conscious. Rumpel smiles at me, but it's not the usual playful smile. Right now he almost looks serious. Did he mean what he just said? Ask him, bro? Don't tell him off. Did you really mean that compliment? Of course I did. I told you, right? Making a person happy is a good deed. I wanted to show you that. His, voice changed from, oh, yes, I am James from Team Rocket. That's where I got the voice, by the way. So, yes, I am a beautiful man with this weird voice. It's, not English anymore. Rumpel's compliments do make people happy, even if I do find his words to be very shallow, but that felt different. Flattery is wonderful, but it usually only concerns complimenting a woman's physical appearance. Though I really do that well, don't I? Earlier I bet you made Annis happy too. You were spying on a conversation? I would never! I just happened to be making my way down the stairs very slowly. You don't even know what I was apologizing for. No, but you thought you had to after you listened to her, didn't you? I listen far more than you do. Princess, you've shattered my heart so many times there are permanent cracks. But do not worry. The cracks in my heart allow even more of you to make your way into it. Time heals all the wounds, man. Rumpel awkwardly laughs when I remain silent. Anyway, there are different kinds of listening, princess. Listening to sympathize is one kind. Trying to put yourself in someone's shoes, trying to understand them. That is one of those ways. Then there is the kind of listening that is shallow. One pretends to listen without ever letting the words into their heart. Words are fickle things. Mother always told me that people lie and that they say whatever benefited them. It is foolish to trust words. What if Annis had been lying to me? Why would I put so much blind faith in people? Because more often than not, people are good, princess. I let an exasperated sigh. Sometimes I cannot tell if I'm angry or confused by Rumpel. Ah, what a beautiful sound. It was as if the sweet wind itself was gently tickling my ear. What, me exasperatingly sighing? I slide away from him and scowl. Your scowl is adorable too, and you have such delicate lips. Right. I'm still convinced that his earlier compliment was just a lie. How can he say something genuine and then slide right back into this pitiful flattery? For a moment's silence falls, and I find to my surprise that it's not awkward being alone with Rumpel. Will you accept my apology for Earl? Will you accept my apology for earlier? I promise I'll never try to get you to flirt with anyone ever again. Wait, was it that bad? Besides, if you flirted with another man and then grew fond of him, I would be devastated. That will never happen. You didn't let me finish! I was going to say that I would be devastated because that would mean that your heart belongs to someone else and my heart belongs to no one. I will steal it like a thief in the night. That will also never happen. You say that now. If not that, then I'll settle with making you smile at least once, because I'm sure you would you would shine as brightly as the sun if you smiled. You are unreasonably persistent. Love is a persistent endeavor, princess. A man in love stops at nothing to win over the hot women, so wins over the women he so adores. Then he must be in love with many women. I stand up. I would appreciate you just complimenting me when you mean it. But, princess, I mean every one of my compliments. I have no energy to chastise him right now, but at least I no longer have that anger inside from earlier. It's been a long day, and I'm going to bed. Would you like company? That was a genuinely good one. I'm gonna use that on my friend. I didn't mean good night, Rumpel. Good night, Princess Lucette. I make my way back to the tower, feeling surprisingly light. Still, even if Rumpel's words might make me happier than I cared to admit, he's not doing a very good job at helping me with my curse. I might have to do this on my own, after all. He's helping you. Chapter 5, The Doctor. Alrighty, so I might just end this right here because I already did chip. You know what, never mind, I'm gonna continue. I love Rumpel, I can't deny. What a brilliant day! The sun is shining, the town is full of laughter, and I have my sweet princess here to accompany me. I cannot help but groan at Rumpel's optimism, because we were both sent out to run errands. Because everyone thinks we would make a wonderful couple. No, because we're partners. Partner as a couple, it may as well be the same thing. Half of the time Rumpel says some deep things, but then he says things like that. It's like he has two personalities. Marriage is not the same thing at all. I take up the list and scour it for things we need to buy. More than half of it is already crossed out. I glance at the bags Rumpel is carrying. He refused to let me carry any of them, insisting that it would be impolite to force the load on me. That leaves me with list duty. This is a lot more laid back than I would than what I have to do with the Martian. Okay, now we have the general medicine restock for Anis. My area of expertise. Never fear, my sweet princess, I will find everything we need. We already have a list. But Rumpel just hums enthusiastically as we continue on our way, and I'm not entirely sure if he heard me or not. We arrive at the little medicine shop in the central plaza. A man exits through the front door, coughing so loudly people turn their head to stare at him. I wait for the man to pass so that I can open the door to the store, but then I notice that Rumpel hasn't budged beside me at all. His eyes do a quick scan of the man before he slowly begins to walk towards him. Sir, you're sick. What's that to you? Even if I was sick, there's nothing I can do if I don't have money. Besides, it's not like this will kill me, it's just a cough. How long have you had your cough, sir? It seems like such a minor thing, but Rumpel suddenly looks so serious about it. He looks at the man with his eyes slightly narrowed, as if he's trying to see past him. It's been with me for more than 3 days. Coughs are pesky things, aren't they? They're usually the last things to go, but at least they're not deadly most of the time. Even if you can't buy the medicine, sir, there are other at-home remedies that might help with your cough. Boy, I've already tried warm tea. My wife's given me enough of that. Water is good for your throat too. Any kind of steam works too. If the crowd is riddled with music, it might be easier to expel with steam. When you can't afford the medicine, sometimes simple things will help, and cough stays for a while, so don't fret if you can't get rid of yours immediately. Well, I appreciate the advice. Not exactly what a doctor would tell me, but it'll have to do. The man thanks Rumpel before walking off. I noticed Rumpel looking down at the ground, but a rather forlorn expression on his face. Is what he said true? About what, princess? About doctors not giving advice about at-home remedies. Most of the time, doctors don't believe in such things. They always think that medicines work better than at home, or herbal remedies. Medicines do help, but sometimes they aren't necessary. Yet you just gave him advice. Not everyone can afford medicine. Being a doctor means helping money, not taking advantage of their sickness to steal their money. Money was never a problem at the palace. Whenever I was sick, the palace just made sure I had the best and most effective medicines. Do you remember what you were like as a doctor? I wanted to help everyone that showed up at my doorstep. Sometimes I couldn't, and it frustrated me. I prescribed medicines when necessary, give advice all the times, and when things were dire, I performed small operations. He does seem a lot more serious when he's talking about health. Rumpel was silent for a few moments before his eyes light up once again. Anyway, shall we go stock up on our medicine? I thought you said medicine was not always helpful. Because it's not. But I also know that Annis uses mostly herbs, and that she tries to handle things without too much medication. She's quite capable. We entered the shop, and in no time at all, Rumpel spots a... Wow, this is a different shop. Okay, we entered the shop, and in no time at all, Rumpel spots the items on her list. We use the rest of our money to buy the medicines and remedies that we need, and then begin to head back to the tavern. On the way there, Rumpel strikes up conversation again. Huh? Oh, it's okay. Alrighty, bye! On the way there, Rumpel strikes up conversation again. So, princess, have you given any thought to what I said before? About what? You've already forgotten? About making people happy. What? You know, you can make me happy right here and now by giving me a kiss on the cheek. I stare blankly at him before walking away. Okay, me too. I'm like both Rumpel and Lucette at the same time. It's quite confusing if you think about it. No, thank you. And alas, my hopes are dashed again. When we're at the outskirts of town, I pause and turn around. It's as if I can feel eyes at my back, but I don't see anyone openly staring at me. Is someone watching me? Suddenly I feel warmth in my hand, then fingers interlace through mine. Rumpel pulls me a little closer, his expression oddly gentle. Don't worry, my sweet princess, you're safe with me. Suddenly his face is a lot closer to mine, and I feel his features more closely. And I can see his features more closely. It's like the night in the forest. It's like the night in the forest, except his face is not marred by the same shadows. There's caution in his eyes, but it's not directed at me. Did you see someone following you? No, I thought I just felt someone looking at me. Better stay together then. We begin walking again. Two of us begin to head back to the Martian. Rumpel has all their bags in one hand now. He hums a little bit as we walk. God damn it, let her hold some stuff, please. It's remarkably peaceful, so much that I don't even mind him holding my hand. It suddenly feels a lot safer. I'm so lost in reverie that I don't even notice when we turn and go the opposite direction. This is not the way back to the Martian. On the contrary, it's just a more scenic path. Don't you like the forest, princess? The shafts of light coming through the canopies, the soft blades of grass that tickle your ankles. I have to agree, that sounds great. It's such a romantic place.
No matter what he says, this doesn't lead back to the Martian. It's not a secret path or a path at all. You know what? I'm just gonna follow him. It's picturesque, isn't it, Princess? It is, but it still does not lead back to the Martian. No, but I figured taking this detour is safer. If someone's watching you, they're less likely to follow straight to the Martian. Safer, but it's just the two of us. I have faith that I would be able to protect you, Princess. Also, the forest is a maid. Yes, the forest is a maid now. The forest is a maze in and of itself. I suddenly stop and let my hand fall away from his, and I stare up at him. I wasn't expecting that level of cleverness from Rumpel. Wow, the dinkle. He's now playing the Team Fortress 2. The Team Fortress, what? Rumpel looks proud of himself. He takes a step forward, bridging the short distance between us, and then suddenly his fingers are around my wrist again. But he does not lace his fingers through mine. Instead, he takes my hand in his and then pulls it up to his face. Before I realize it, my hand is on his cheek, his hand cupping my own. Princess, you can trust me. Always, I mean. Always. Now I can sense that sometimes you trust me, sometimes you don't. But you don't need to be so cautious around me. I'll shower you with compliments because I believe you deserve them. I tell you that I enjoy being around you because I do. I should be focusing on his words, but all I can look at are his eyes. What do I need for you to fully trust me? Mother told me that people lie, so how can I trust that everything he says is the truth? Perhaps if I stopped throwing compliments at you, you would not be you without all the compliments. What am I saying? I always complain about his compliments, but the thought of Rumpel without compliments is strange. So you do enjoy my compliments, sweet princess? No, What? Words have deserted you? I understand, being so close to me would have that effect on any woman. Something bright and angry flares up inside of me, something that I don't understand. I pull my hand away from him, a scowl on my face. Was it my big mouth again, princess? Come on, let's just go back to the Martian. I start walking ahead, and Rumpel rushes to catch up with me. I clench my fingers and let out a silent sigh. Rumpel is being nice to me again, but I always reject his kindness, because it cannot be real. Cinderella Phenomenon. Now I have his shot. Days go by. I consider Rumpel's advice, but I refuse to flirt with anyone again. I have no idea how to make anyone happy. Happy. Yes. Okay. Rumpel told me that I cannot make anyone happy without knowing anything about them and listening to them like I did with Anis, but what reason do I have to listen to people? This is so frustrating. Days later, Hold on, let me refresh the page. Days later, Rumpel and I sit at a table waiting for our work orders. Rumpel is on the verge of conversation when we suddenly hear Parfait speaking in the doorway. Rumpel picks up on the words before I do and rushes over to the front door. He looked almost nervous. Who's at the front door? I excuse myself briefly, telling Anis that I will be back. I make my way over to the door, and there I see 3 people in conversation. There's Rumpel and Parfait and a very pale man. The pale man looks like death himself, and he might just keel over. I can help him.
I can help him.
I can help him.
Rumpel.
He needs help. He can stay in my room instead. I can even restock the medicines on my own if need be, so please, let me help him. There's a desperation in Rumpel's eyes that I've never seen before. He looks at Parfait pleadingly, all the while holding the man by the shoulder to steady him. What is happening?
Oh, Princess, the man heard about Rumpel through one of the men at the tavern. He's sick and he doesn't have a lot of money to pay for treatment. He came here seeking Rumpel. He must have been able to find this place because he was cursed.
Does he even have the money to pay? Rumpel turns to me with a frown on his face. I've never seen him look at me so sternly. Princess, do you remember what I told you before?
He was insistent that a doctor's #1 priority was to help their patient regardless of the monetary situation. Take him to your room then, Rumpel. I'll have Anis help assist you if she's willing.
No, Anis doesn't need to worry herself.
I think she'd want to help you.
The two cut their conversation short when the man starts coughing and a terrible hacking cough that paralyzes him. Rumpel steadies him, and then he begins to slowly move him towards his room.
Don't worry, Princess. You will be fine.
What?
I can see the worry on your face. Rumpel will be fine.
Why would I worry about Rumpel?
Because it's not like you to worry about someone you don't know at all.
He looks so alarmed. I've never seen Rumpel look like that before. It's not like him.
Rumpel knows what he's doing. I'll have someone else assist you with serving today, so no worries.
Buffet comes through on her promise. When I go back to the bar, both Ines and Rumpel are gone. Karma, or Miss Karma, is there instead, looking disgruntled.
Waltz would be better at this. Why do I have to help?
Because Waltz is doing his puppet shows and Rumpel's helping a sick man.
Oh, well, I guess there's nothing to do about this then, other than enjoy it.
He flips his hair and smiles brilliantly.
I will attract all of the customers today. Perhaps we should have a competition, Princess.
By the way, I was trying to flip my hair there, but it only just dangled my stuff. Compete with yourself. I really am not in the mood for karma right now.
Then I shall definitely compete with myself, because challenging yourself is important.
Karma picks up waiting tables fairly easily. I notice that he speaks very fondly to the girls, but they're not as receptive as they are with Rumpel. Many times they ask Karma where Rumpel is, and he seems agitated when he tells them that Rumpel is busy. They seem just as irritated. Once my break starts, I meet Karma at the bar. He looks depressed. I guess if you and Rumpel competed to woo girls, you would win.
Darling, if I were to shade my disguise right here and now, I would be the clear victor.
Since without this disguise, women would flock to me. It is rather uncomfortable to have everyone in Angyel fall in love with you.
You look like you're judging me, Princess.
Because I am. If only you understood my plight. My plight. Karma and Rumpel may speak similarly, but they are still so different. Karma's the type to complain. Rumpel never complains. He has overworking himself for someone else, just like he went out of his way to apologize to me many times. My heart sinks a little bit as I think of him and Annis helping out the sick man. Rumpel didn't even want Annis going up there, so he probably wouldn't want me up there either. I could try to go visit him, or I could go back to my own room. I'm gonna go back to my room. Alright. Yeah. I should not bother him.
What was that, Princess?
What was that, Princess?
It is nothing. If you don't want to bother Rumpel, you can always spend some time down here with me. I could give you some advice about your good deeds, too. You? I stare at him. Karma puts a hand over his chest and sighs dramatically. I'm offended, Princess. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice Delora looking expectantly at Karma. He noses hers and then sighs out dramatically. If I had more time, I would give you advice. Karma walks off and I consider his words. After a few moments, I shake my head, the words from my mind, and start walking. As I'm heading up to my room, I hesitate, knowing Rumpel's door is close by. Earlier, he looked so stressed. I think I should go see him. I make my way over to what I think is Rumpel's door. The door is slightly ajar, and I hear hushed voices on the other side. These voices definitely belong to Annis and Rumpel. I slowly push the door open and quietly step inside. Rumpel and Annis are staring up. Okay, so no matter what you chose, okay. Rumpel and Annis are standing over the man, who's covered in blankets and coughing. A series of bottles sit on the table close by. None of the herbal remedies are working. We need a medicine for this.
I'm sorry I don't have any more money to offer, Rumpel.
Annis, please don't sound so sad. You've already tried helping as much as you possibly can. It's my fault for promising to buy the medicine that we needed. I glance at the table where a list is sitting. Beautiful cursive handwriting details everything that the patient needs. Everything is circled except for some medicine at the very bottom that has a star next to it. Is that Rumpel's handwriting? Suddenly the two of them turn. They both look so shocked to see me. Princess, what are you doing here? I came to see how you were doing. Princess, I'm fine, but... Glances down at the man on the bed. Annis sighs out a little bit.
We've given him what we can, but the one medicine that we need is something we can't afford.
Hold on a second.
Even with the money I'm getting from Lady Parfait, it isn't enough. I walked into the room and glanced at the list. I look at the total of the medicine and then at the coins on the table I hadn't noticed before. Did Rumpel use all of his money for the stranger? What will happen if you do not get this medicine? Without this infection will spread and he goes silent as the man starts coughing again. I read the answer in his eyes, but even if he won't say it, the man could be in terrible danger. He could even die. Rumpel looks so defeated. It's not like himself at all. I glanced at the coins once again, then at the list. Without a second thought, I grasped both the list and the coins. But, Princess, what are you... I'll be back. I meant to do like a Merida impression, but it didn't work. I leave my room, even with Andis and Rumpel protesting behind me. I make my way into the room, where I pick up the bag of coins that the king gave me when I went to the palace on the day I was cursed. Then I head for the door. I immediately head for the medicine store that we always frequent. I count out the coins that I need to buy the medicine. This will take all of my money, but it wasn't as if I was going to use it for something else. I rush back to the Martian with the medicine in a little bag, hoping that this is the one that Rumpel needs. It's dark by the time I get back to the Martian. I make my way to Rumpel's room again and notice that he's still sitting on a stool beside the patient's bed, looking at him forlornly. I enter the room, his eyes go wide. He seems even more surprised when I hand him the bag. Princess, is this? He opens the bag and then lets the little vial roll onto his hand. How did you buy this? I combined your total with the money I had left. I combined your total with the money I had left. Rumpel stares at me, clearly flabbergasted. Then his expression morphs into something softer, something more relieved. He steps forward and suddenly his arms are around me. He grips me tightly and then I hear his voice in my ear. Thank you so much, Princess Lucette. My heartbeat picks up slightly. It's so loud I think Rumpel might hear it, but when he pulls away, he doesn't say anything. I'll have to thank you for this later, Princess. But for now, you should leave. I don't want you to get sick. I'm too dazed to I'm too dazed to disagree. I nod my head quietly before moving stiffly toward the door. I glance back at Rumpel one last time, noticing he is checking the man's temperature. The moment I leave the room, a flash of light emanates from my chest. Ah, dang, I didn't get a gem for that. Should I go back? I think I'm gonna go back. Yes. Go to Rumpel's room. I think I'll go check on him. Check on Rumpel? I hadn't realized I was speaking aloud. I look at Karma, who furrows his eyebrows at me slightly. I honestly don't know how you can stand him as a partner. Why do you dislike Rumpel so much? A lot of things, Princess, but that fight is between us and doesn't involve you. Then do not involve me. I have no idea to comment on us being partners. Karma looks at me wide-eyed and a little shocked. Then a sort of knowing comes to his eyes and he smiles, just a little bit. Yes, I think you should go visit him, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get him off your mind, would you? He laughs a little bit before picking up his tray and rushing towards to continue his shift. Like someone keeps on knocking on my door and I'm like, hit. I walk up the stairs, my feet feeling heavy. For some reason I feel Karma is right. I make my way over to what I think is Rumpel's room. Okay. I glance back at Rumpel one last time, noticing that he's checking the man's temperature. The moment I leave the room, a flash of light emanates from my chest. I have suddenly touched the glass slipper at my
neck and then pause as I stare down at it. I feel a soft gasp leave my lips when I notice the fragment of the second slipper. I got my first good deed! I bought the medicine for Rumpel, but I only added in a few more coins to buy it. So what I did today was considered a good deed? I'm confused, but at the same time I'm pleased that I actually managed to get a good deed. Now I only need 2 more. The next day I go down to the tavern area to begin my work, but I'm there a little early. Waltz is working on his puppets at a table, eyebrows furrowed in concentration. When I walk up, he looks at me and smiles, then he raises his eyebrows. Princess, congratulations! You got your first good deed. I did. I knew you could do it. I nod in response. His praise makes me feel oddly proud. I continue my usual work, keeping an eye out for Rumpel as I work on my shift, but he never appears. A few days ago, it's only after the man leaves, looking a lot healthier and stable than he was before, and I finally see Rumpel. He and the man speak out at the front door to the tavern. No, really, sir, I couldn't take anything from you. Nonsense, you have saved my life. I need to pay you back somehow. The man was holding money out to Rumpel, but Rumpel just shakes his head. I notice there are dark circles under his eyes and that he looks tired. I didn't help you for the money, but I insist. That money could be spent on better things, like your family. You may not take my money, but I promise I will pay you back. Your health is all the reward I need, I promise. I can't thank you enough. After the man leaves, I approach Rumpel. He turns to me and leans against the door, his smile still tired but bright. Ah, princess, come heal my weary body, perhaps. I would so love another hug. My face becomes hot at the memory of Rumpel's hug from the other day. Ah, the natural rouge of your cheeks is so sweet, princess. It makes me feel infinitely better. And your necklace seems different? I reach up to touch the pendant. Every time I get a good deed, a piece gets added to my necklace. Oh, right! You helped me with the medicine the other day. Of course that was a good deed, princess. It was very selfless of you. Thank you again for that. That man tried to thank you too, but you refused his money. Why? And why did you spend your money on him? Because life is invaluable, princess. No amount of money could ever be more important than a person's life. Even if it's someone you do not know? Yes, because everyone has a life, princess. They have loved ones, families, sweethearts. And even if I can help them, I will. And I will gladly spend any amount of money to do so. Okay, fine. But why did you not accept any money from that man? Because no amount of money. You needed that money. How were you going to buy more medicines without any money? Rumpel's eyes widened. He was clearly not expecting me to ask that question. But he said before that he didn't have much money, and if it was true, I can't take money. And it was true. I can't take money from him when he doesn't have much of it to begin with. He was thanking you with money. You should have accepted it. Parfait pays you, does she not? Rumpel's shoulders sag when he sighs. Yes, even though I won't accept money from her face to face, she has to sneak it into my wallet. If she does that, why not just accept it from her? I'm trying to make a statement, princess. And Parfait does not seem to care because she sneaks the money into your wallet regardless. Ah, you have a point there. You're stubborn. We both are. Now I have a question. Why did you use your money on that man? You knew nothing about him. Did you do it for him? For yourself? Or for me, perhaps? Rumpel grins at me mischievously. Even with the tired eyes, I can still see the bright cheer in him. Hit the nail right on the head. Again. You're becoming easier to read, my sweet princess. Well, no matter why you did it, thank you. That medicine was necessary to help that man. I still think you should have accepted money from him. You helped him and did a service no one else would. You should have accepted his gratitude. Princess, I told you. I cross my arms and frown at him. You're so stubborn. Rumpel's smile falters, but he looks at me sadly, almost guiltily. For some reason, the sight of him in such a state makes my heart sink. Wipe off that frown. You look better with a smile. Rumpel stares at me, shocked. I would be too. Hold on a second. I have the rest of my water. Why is he staring at me like that? You like my smile? What? I did not say You like my smile, and you complimented it too. Princess, you have no idea what this means to me.
Rumpel throws his hands in the air. I resist the urge to roll my eyes at the exaggerated reaction.
You get compliments all the time from women. Yes, but none as honest as yours. This compliment is valuable because I know you absolutely mean it.
So I will keep those words close to my heart because they are precious to me.
It wasn't anything like that spectacular compliment he gives, yet he still looks so happy.
You two seem to be getting along.
Ruffy appears behind us with a smile on her face.
Sorry to interrupt, but Lou said Karma is slowly drowning in table work. Would you help him?
Yes, of course. Rumpel looks disappointed as I sit back to the bar where Karma expresses immediate relief as I am back. Rumpel retires to his room early that day, and he's given the day off. Both Delora and Parfait see the tiredness on his face, just like I can. He doesn't appear for the rest of the day. At the end of Kiyuki. Oh, I forgot who that was. At the end of my shift, I retire to my room. How long is this chapter, man? When I get downstairs the next morning, I am met with a familiar sight. Both Karma and Rumpel stand on opposite sides of the table, their voices rising. Oh, god damn it. The fighting again? I happen to catch their words as I walk quietly down the stairs.
Who are you to criticize my work ethic when you were gone for several days, leaving me with your workload?
It wasn't like I wanted to, and who are you to criticize how I work?
All of the ladies I spoke to said that you shower them with compliments. What kind of professional behavior is that?
I'm having a hard time believing you're a professional with the way you flaunt yourself.
At least I don't flirt with the people to attract their attention. And you flirt with them and don't even realize the effect it has on other people.
Flattery is not a crime.
Just yesterday, the princess came to see you in your room, all because you gave her the impression that you liked her.
Were you actually spying on her? And you call me uncouth.
No, I overheard her say it.
And you're wrong. I never say anything if it isn't truthful.
Ah, well then, the truth of the matter is that you must be in love with many women. Because they all seem to think that you'll get down on one knee and propose to them.
You say some sly things, Miss Karma, and yet are the biggest slider of us all.
At least I don't lie to my partner.
Fucking defend him, man? Defend!
Rumpel tells me that he never lies. He tells me that he wants to trust. He tells me that he wants me to trust him. Though I still find it hard to believe, I do want to trust him.
I walk down the rest of the stairs and stop at Rumpel's side. Both men look equally surprised to see me there. Rumpel has never lied to me yet. Karma looks up and stares at me for a few moments, looking startled by my sudden appearance. Then he sighs.
Princess, a man that flatters everyone